Manitoba and Saskatchewan are taking unusual steps to stamp out crystal meth. Both provinces are placing controls on 17 cough and cold medications used to make the illegal drug. They'll force drugstores to move the drugs behind the counter. British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario are considering similar restrictions. And joining me now is Wendy Wood. She is a psychiatric pharmacist at the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
So with BC and Ontario considering following Manitoba and Saskatchewan, is it a good idea?
It can be part of the answer. I mean, of course, we like to look at a much broader approach to the problem, and the 4 pillars we look at are treatment, harm reduction, enforcement, and education. And so the enforcement is part of what's going to help, but just trying to decrease the supply doesn't necessarily help as much as looking at the demand part of the issue as well.
Doesn't this put an enormous responsibility on the pharmacist for policing this?
That's right. And as a pharmacist, I don't like being put in the position of policing. We're health professionals and like to be looked at as such, and it certainly is one way of doing it, but it's not the people that are coming with a cold and want one package that are a problem. It's people buying 10 packages. And so there's programs like the Meth Watch program that looks at training all sorts of retail staff, so pharmacy staff and hardware staff, because Pseudoephed is only one of the ingredients involved, and so we need to look at all of the different materials.
What can manufacturers do to improve the situation? Is it possible to take the ingredient out of their cold and allergy remedies altogether?
It is possible to take the ingredient out, but one of the other ingredients, phenylpropanolamine, was also taken off the market. So they're having less and less ingredients they can use. I've heard in the States that that's the way that some manufacturers are going, and I would suspect that Canadian manufacturers may look at that as well. But it's a shame that something that is useful for people could be taken away.
Wendy, do a lot of crystal meth users go to the drugstore to get their supplies?
We don't know for sure. I think some of the mom and pop labs, but some of the indication is as well that there's large manufacturing cartels in the big meth labs, and this would not be the most efficient way for them to get their product. They're more likely to go at the source or supply chains that are different. So it's difficult to say how much of an impact this would make on how much is on the street.
And do I understand that you need a lot of this in order to make a small quantity of crystal meth?
That's correct, yeah. Usually the yields compared to how much you're using, it's not a lot, and again, it's not the most efficient way to get it. And what we've found from experience is if you take one method away, people are quite resourceful and might find a different method without pseudoephedrine to make the product anyways.
All right, Wendy Wood, we appreciate your expertise in this. Thanks very much for your help tonight.
Thank you.